What's up, everybody? Caleb here, still at home. What's new? This video, you might have seen the title and you're like, Caleb doesn't have any kids. How is he gonna give me tips? That's right, I don't, but I do have dogs.
Good boys, good.
I know it's not quite the same, but that's why I'm gonna have Julia actually take over this video. Julia Manchik is a photographer and designer here at Moment. She takes awesome photos of her kids. Her and her husband, Yuri, who you might have seen in the vlogs before. Yuri,
What's up?
Little cold?
Little.
Yeah, they have 2 boys, and hopefully you'll be able to take some of these tips and apply them for the time that you're at home. If you don't have kids, enjoy the video anyway. All right.
Hi guys, my name is Julia and I'm a designer and photographer at Moment. I'm also a mom. I have 2 kids. There they are. We are at home, and since most of us are stuck at home these days, I thought it'd be a good chance to show you guys some quick tips for taking better photos of your kids with your phone. So let's get into it. Tip number 1, find good light. When you're shooting indoors, you definitely want to take photos close to a window. The best way to light up your kid's face is to have the window be facing their face, so behind you. You could also shoot with the window to the side of you, so it lights up the side of their face. This is a little bit more dramatic. You get some shadows on the face. Shooting with the light directly behind your kid's face is harder, especially on a phone. I have a nice corner window here, so I can shoot him from any direction, but if you're shooting against a single window, it's hard to shoot directly into the window unless you want a silhouette photo. But in general, shooting around windows is always really fun. There's a lot of options, and that's the best way to get nice, bright photos. Tip number 2, choose your background. Another thing I love to do at home is set up a mini photo studio. So don't be afraid to rearrange your furniture a little bit. I'm going to move my dining table and take down some art so that I get a nice empty white wall. This is where I have the best light and the biggest white space. If you want to go all out, you can even pin up a sheet on the wall. You can use a big piece of paper. You can gather all the plants in your house and make a nice green background. Don't be afraid to get creative and move things around. Another great background is shooting straight down, whether that's on the floor, a bed, a couch. Look for interesting textures around your house. I have a variety of blankets and rugs that I like to shoot on. Avoid anything that's shiny or really wrinkly fabrics because those cause glares and make the photo kind of distracting. The nice thing about shooting down is your house can be a complete mess, but as long as this one blanket is clean, you'll get some nice photos. At the end of the day, sometimes you just need to embrace the clutter. If your kid is doing something and you want to document it, just take the photo and don't try to make it perfect. Sometimes the mess adds to the scene, and it's really an honest depiction of what your life is like and the memories that you'll want to look back on later. Tip number 3, take a portrait. You don't have to wait to get professional photos to get nice portraits of your kid. A few tips you can use is get the right angle. So avoid shooting up at the face. That gives you that like chubby kid double chin. Either shoot down or better yet, get on their level so that you're shooting them straight on. Avoid distractions, so make sure there's nothing behind their head like a pole sticking out. Try to get your kid to wear a shirt without characters, writing, or logos. You really want the attention to be all on their face and not what they're wearing. Sometimes I feel like no clothes is even better for a portrait. I'll often get my boys to take their shirts off or even into diapers, and that way it's just a nice, clean photo of them and nothing else distracting. If all else fails and they're in a terrible mood and screaming, "No photo," like mine often does, just stop and try another day. Tip number 4, do an activity. Most kids don't like photos, so a good way to distract them and get some nice shots is to do an activity together. It's a chance for them to interact with something and not pay attention to the camera in their face. Outside is my favorite. Get the kid on a bike or a scooter, anything that moves. You can climb a tree, build a sandcastle, pick flowers. I know we're all mostly stuck indoors right now, so there aren't a lot of options for going somewhere incredible, but the simplest activities give you so many opportunities to take photos. We went outside and photographed Lev on his bike, and I started shooting while we were still indoors, putting on his helmet and shoes, going outside. I photographed him riding, and then I got some shots of him looking at the camera. When you're doing an activity, it's a great way to piece together a little story. And tip number 5, get in the photo. This is one that most parents forget about or they cringe thinking about it, but kids want to see what their parents looked like back then. Those are some of my favorite photos. This can be as simple as taking a selfie, hold out your phone and get a photo of you with your kids. You can be standing or laying. I also like to take mirror selfies. We have a big mirror, so it's a fun way to get a photo with the kids and a little bit of our house in it as well. And if you are feeling ambitious, set up your phone on a tripod, use a Bluetooth remote, or just put it on the self-timer mode. It doesn't have to be perfect, but getting you with the kids is important. All right, we just finished riding our bikes outside and both the kids are hungry and tired, so we are calling it a day. Hope you guys enjoyed learning some tips for shooting your kids. You can check out more tips below. It was a little bit stressful. There's always some breaks for snacks and crying and diapers, but it's totally worth it to shoot your kids. And if things get really bad, just put your phone away and try again the next day.